Thank you, Mr. President, members of the Senate. I've got to confess to being a little naive because once in a while, a good common sense bill comes along, and I think to myself, this is going to pass unanimously without debate. And this was one of those times. This bill proposed by the Chief Executive. And I was reminded of one of my favorite movies, Force Brothers, with Marx Brothers. I would like to read you a little bit of that song. I won't sing it. I don't know what you'd have to say. It makes no difference anyway. Whatever it is, I'm against it. Your proposition may be good, but let's have one thing understood. Whatever it is, I'm against it. Here's how I look at this bill, Mr. President. And it's about people needing and seeking assistance. If my cousin came to me and asked me for financial help, I would be inclined to give it to him. But I believe I would first ask him if he'd gone out and tried to find a job as an alternative to seeking financial help from me. And if he said no, I'd say, go look for one. And when you have, if you can't find one, come back and we'll talk. I think the concept, Mr. President, is a simple one. We are all willing to help our relatives, our friends, our neighbors, or even people we don't know if they really need it. But we expect them to make a genuine effort to help themselves first. And that, to me, is all this bill does. It requires someone seeking tenant benefits before they come not to their cousin, but to taxpayers in Maine, to at least apply for 3 jobs within a 3-week period. They've got to be job ready, and the department will develop the standards in rulemaking about what exactly that means. But one would suspect that would mean that if someone were unable to work because they had a physical problem, or they were on disability, or they were a parent of a small child, or any other number of things which would make them work ready, that they would not be deemed work ready and would not have to apply for a job. And the application process that says you have to look for 3 jobs in 3 weeks, that doesn't slow down people getting benefits by a single day, because the tenant process from the time you begin to apply until the end of the process is about 30 days, and that's lots of time. To me, Mr. President, this doesn't present a barrier at all. And as my good friend from Oxford, Senator Hamper, pointed out, at the orientation for tenant itself, you have the resources of the Maine Career Center available to you through computer. So it's not even necessarily going out and looking for work. You can look for work right there online. Again, Mr. President, to me the concept is simple. We would ask our own relatives to try to help themselves before we help them. And why is that? I think it's partly because we want to be cautious with our own money. But secondly, it's in part because we don't want our relative to become dependent on us if they don't have to. And why should we be acting differently when we're talking about taxpayers' money instead of our own money? LD 415 is a good common sense approach.